Hi, so I'm going to teach you how to use chaos magic so that you can alter your realm and change your reality. The reason why you would want to alter your realm and change your reality is because your reality and your understanding and your feeling and your thoughts are the driver for your behaviors. So often, what happens is that we try to change our behaviors and we find ourselves stuck in the same behavioral pattern because we're not trying to change the right thing. So, what happens here is that your behavior is the result of what's happening in your mind. Therefore, if you want to change the outside, you need to change the inside. As without changing the inside, the behavior will hardly change or will be very difficult to be erased or replaced, more likely. So the goal here is to reframe your internal structure so that we can alter your external behaviors. This is your mind, and everything that is in your mind right now comes from external situation. Could be your parents, could be school, could be your education, your country, your culture, your religion. It can be your friend group. It can be so many things. And most of those things were not chosen by you, because when you choose your mental framework, you are actively participating in shaping your reality. When you're not participating in shaping your reality, you pick up on everything in the field but your own thoughts, and that is what influence your behavior. I'm going to give you a great example. Let's say, for example, that you are in a neighborhood where everyone does the same thing. People just have a job, they just work normally. Nobody really change or do something special with their life, or you're uh, somewhere where the culture is more reserved or more outgoing. You will tend to adapt and become like that culture. And the reason why is because your brain will subconsciously think that you are like the people you hang around with. So there's a famous quote saying you are the person you hang around the most with. And the reason why is because we are the same species. Our brain associate what we see in others into what is true for us, when this is not truth. So the goal here is to reshape your internal world so that we can reshape your external world. Everyone, every culture have a different internal world, but every culture has what I would want to call class consciousness. So the collective consciousness. What is the collective consciousness? The collective consciousness is usually a set of behavior and agreement on how life works and what is true and not truth, that usually a collective group in a specific area, school, city, country, tend to agree with without asking too many questions, by just following the collective understanding of that reality, right? So all of this collective understanding is really great when you want to get along with people, because you will tend to rotate around people that have the same collective agreement. But it is not really great if you want to um, achieve specific goals or to go into a different path for yourself, where you want to be more successful, or you want to go out of your way to achieve something that is out of the ordinary. That mindset will not help you. That mindset is made to be social. It's made for agreeing and participating into the collective field, into the society. But if ever you want to push the boundaries of what you can do with yourself, that mindset is going to be your prison. It's going to be a cage, and it's going to prevent you from doing what you're looking to do. The best way I can explain this is, when you're in your own reality, not everything makes sense. There's things that looks crazy that you cannot make sense of. And the reason why is because your reality with the concept and context that you have is not sufficient to make sense of everything around you. The only way to make sense of everything around you technically would be to have no illusion, which means to completely shatter the veil of illusion, and that requires no identity. But that's a topic for a different video. Considering that most people have an identity, most people have an illusion. It's like a dream. In a dream, we're dreaming, some things are strange, but we don't really ask questions, right? We're just in the dream, it's immersive, we are just following the plot of the story, like your life right now. But sometimes we realize that we're dreaming, and we look and sneak a peek outside of the veil, which is what chaos magic is for. So you have to understand that the only reason why your reality feels real is because your brain spent and worked really, really, really hard to make it real for you. The goal now is to understand that anyone's reality is as equally real as yours, and that you can shift reality by shifting your mental construct. Therefore, for chaos magic, you need 2 or 3 simple steps. The first step is to learn the art of believing before seeing. The way that your mind works is that your mind is always going to try to show you and prove you what you assume to be true. Therefore, you need to assume something to be true before your mind is capable of showing it to you. Here's the catch. This is where most people get stuck and why they cannot change reality. Changing a reality for yourself requires you to kill the current reality. And we live in a society where ego is part of ourselves. Everyone has an ego, and the society is as well there too, and has been really working over time to boost and increase people's ego and idea of who they are. The problem is that your ego will keep you stuck. Your ego is your idea of yourself and what you think you know about life, right? So if you have reality A, and that reality is not serving you any shape or form positively or where you want to go, and there's reality B, and that reality is absolutely contradicting what you know about life and what you knew or thought you knew since forever. The shift in believing in a different reality is where most people get blocked, because if you believe in that, it means that everything you've been experiencing since you're born is a lie. And here is the trick. You have to understand this core principle, which is that all reality are true and false at the same time. Meaning that everything you know up to this day is real, and it was real for you, and is also real for other people living in a similar reality than yours. But that reality on the other side is as well as equally real. And what matters is the outcome of the reality and not the reality itself. It's your experience of that reality. Therefore, you have to really bypass your mind by saying, this reality is real, but it is no longer efficient for me. Therefore, it is no longer real for my future needs. Okay? So by changing your reality and going to the opposite side, it's going to tame the ego and allow you to flow naturally to the side without feeling like you've been living a lie or that you've been living something that is false, because it is and it was true, but it may no longer be true if you want to switch it and go on a different direction. Your mind cannot pick up on every single detail and remember everything during the day, right? You take the car, you're driving around, you maybe remember you saw a yellow car, you saw a really nice car that you like, you saw a nice house that you like. So depending on your mental construct and what you're looking on a daily basis and what you pay attention to, your mind is going to pick up on these elements so that you can remember them. For example, if you like cars a lot and you see a car in the streets that you really like, you're going to remember that car. But all of the rest around you, you're not going to remember, because your mind is going to blur them. It's going to blur reality. It's just going to show you what fits your construct. So it's the same thing for your brain here. So you need to assume information to be true before being able to have them in your reality and make them possible. I'm going to give you an example. If, for example, we're taking the aspect of, let's say, someone who is having anxiety, okay? A person having anxiety would have inputs of thoughts that creates anxiety, such as I'm not good enough, people are judging me, so many options and types of thoughts that can happen to someone who has anxiety, right? On the flip side of that, if we change your mental construct and we look into a different point of view, right? So let's say we have 2 points of view here. Let me write first one and second one. That point of view says, oh, I have an anxiety disorder. I'm going to get a diagnosis. I need medication for my anxiety disorder. And apparently, because I have a clinical diagnosis, it's something that cannot change, right? So that is a reality option. Someone else can go on Google and look things and find Buddhism. And Buddhism will be saying, thoughts are not real. Thoughts are illusion. They're not real, right? So then we have a slit here of 2 options. Option 1, you are stuck with anxiety. Option 2, you have the option to get rid of it, right? Because if your thoughts are not real, that means you can change them, you can erase them, you can silence your mind. And if you silence your mind, you silence your anxiety, and you get over the anxiety, right? So logically, if you want to get rid of something, you need to believe in what allows you to get rid of that thing, so that your mind can reconstruct itself within a different belief or framework, so that it allows you to do something about your situation. And that is how chaos magic works. Okay, so now that we have concluded that the first step in chaos magic is to assume or believe in something before being able to see it, the next step is to look for situation in your day that validate that belief. Okay, let's say, for example, we're going to take the same concept, right? I'm using anxiety right now, but this is applicable to absolutely everything. Okay, so we're taking back our anxiety here. Okay, we have already believed here that we have took the option where it is possible to get rid of your anxiety. Okay, that option is like, it is possible, let me look for a solution. Oh, the solution, let's say I found Buddhism. Apparently people there are capable of silencing their mind, right? So that is an option. So you need to also believe that those people are capable of doing what they say that they're capable of doing. My best recommendation for you is that most of these things are possible, and the only reason why you think that this is not possible is because your reality is stopping you from believing it in it. But most of what people say is possible is possible. In terms of mental construct. So now that you pick up on that idea that actually your thoughts are not you, and you can change your thoughts and you can alter your thoughts, right? You need to believe in your ability to do so. So during your day, for example, if you go out during the day and then you get an anxiety thought in your head, while you are getting that thought in your head, you need to realize that you are getting that thought, and then you need to say in your head, no, this is not true. And then you can replace it with a different thought, like a beautiful sun or something different, like something good about yourself, like I'm enough, or this is not true, it's not real, stop bothering me, right? So what happens there is that your brain, every time it sends you a thought that you do not want, and you reply back with, hey, no, I don't want this thing. I would prefer you to send me that thought instead. That one's better for me. Your brain over time, a few days, a few weeks, it's going to stop sending you that thought because you stop feeding the energy of it. And then that's how you can control your thinking, right? So again, I'm using anxiety here, but you can use anything, any mental construct, any situation, as you please. It's working the same way, right? So here, to do that, you need to, during your day as well, find reasons to prove your point, right? It's like if you're telling yourself or your brain something, but then your brain cannot find any valid reasons to believe in it, it's not going to believe in it, okay? So step one, believing that you can change your reality. Believing and assuming other things than what you think is true to be true, to allow you to expand the field and ability of your brain. Step two, researching it and applying it. Step three is really to tell yourself, I can change my thought and I believe that it is true. Therefore, every day I'm going to do it. So every day when you go to bed, your brain understands that is true because it happened 3 times today. I thought about something and I changed it. And I thought about something and I changed it. So you're going to change your behavior. You're going to change your way of thinking. You're going to change your understanding of the truth and your understanding of reality. And as well, while doing all of that, your brain is going to be proven right. You're going to prove yourself right on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be something that takes 2 hours. It can take 10 minutes. But it's not about how long you do it, but it's how consistent and repetitive you are with it. And I used anxiety as an example. You can use absolutely anything, right? You could get rid of anxiety. You can also get really good at tennis. You can get really good at public speaking. You can get really good at high confidence. It's the same work behind the scene. It's your ability to believe that first it is possible, your ability to prove yourself on a daily basis that it is possible. That's all there is. So you see, those are baby steps. So you do one thing at a time. You fix and alter and shift your reality one thing at a time. Once you're done with it, you can find something else, and then you can find something else, and then you can find something else. And then slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly, it builds up and it becomes exponential, so that you can alter your realm by your train of thoughts. The goal here is to understand that we live into what I would like to call a multiverse, meaning there is the universe, but in the universe, we are experiencing different reality, right? Because we all are living on the same planet, right? If we are all living on the same planet, why do we have different conclusion of that same planet? Why people think science is the option, then the other one think it's Buddhism, then the other one think it's spirituality, then the other one thinks that this food is good, and the other one thinks that, and the other one thinks that this philosophy is great, and the other one thinks that. Why do we live on the same planet and we all have a different opinion of that same experience? Because despite us living on the same planet, we are not experiencing the same planet. Some people are seeing different shades of colors, right? We're not seeing all of the same colors. So there's some variance in colors. Some people have a different way of thinking. Some people have different ways of how their body works, what works for them. So we are living on the same planet, but we are not experiencing the same planet. So within that reality, there is infinite realities. There's infinite people with infinite realities. And the goal here is that what happened is that most people are not choosing their reality. Most people are born into a city, a collective, went to a certain school, have a certain group of friends, and what happened is that life shapes their reality for them. And they are just the reflection of everything that happened externally to them. That is what most people are, and I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just explaining it so that you can understand what we're doing here with your brain. So the goal here is to not let yourself be the cause of the experience that is the effect, right? So the experience should not shape you, because if the experience shape you, who really are you, right? If everything you are is your culture, the way you were born, the friends that you met, the memes that you saw on your feed, who would you be if you were born in a different city, a different culture, a different had a different group of friends, went to a different school, and who would you be? You would be a totally different person, right? So the thing here is that much of who you are, or who you feel that you are, is driven by external assets that you did not choose yourself, right? So it removes the choice and the freedom of experiencing your reality across the multiverse of infinite realities that humanity experiencing. It limits you to your circumstances, when the truth is you are not just limited to your circumstances. You can create your own reality despite these circumstances. And this is why chaos magic is amazing, because on one side, let's say this is your reality, right? You have that reality. So if that reality is not paying, if it's not good, if it's not giving you anything, you have the option to dismiss it and realize that the only reason why this is your reality is because of how your life was shaped, and that for other people, their reality is that, and that you can choose to select that reality as long as you believe in it, and that you teach your brain on a daily basis for a few days and weeks that this is that reality, and slowly you're going to push yourself into a different realm. And that is the beauty of chaos magic, right? And I'm going to give you a great example of reality, right? So there's manifestation, there's religion, there's so many things. Okay, so that concept that I explained right now, you can find it in so many things. You can find it in science, manifestation, religion. It is there everywhere, right? But if I use magic, some people that don't believe in magic, their reality is going to block them from being interested in that video. If I said religion, the people that are not interested in religion, their reality is going to block them from being interested in that video. And so on with spirituality, and so on with manifestation, and so on with science, and so on with blah, 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 blah. But the funniest part is that that concept is a concept that is part of everything. It's in science, it's in spirituality, it's in manifestation, it's in magic, it's everywhere. We just call it different things. And by the name that we put on this concept, we attract a different type of people. So me, I'm always going to use magic, and the reason why is because that concept is very much rooted in magic, and I think that magic it is what gives the most freedom, as I do not want to influence your reality with a religion, a philosophy, a spirituality. So I'm going to say magic, and the reason why it's magic is because you can find it everywhere under different names, but it's the same strategy.